Hello, it's Eamon McAuley here, Belfast boxing historian, back with another wee story. Uh, I'm going to talk about one of my favourite boxers today, the Eastern Assassin, Larry Holmes. Yeah, Larry came from Easton, Pennsylvania, and was a 7th grade dropout. Larry went 19-3 as an amateur, with losses to Southpaw Nick Wells twice and Dwayne Bobby. He turned pro with Ernie Butler as his coaching manager. One time, Ernie Butler brought Holmes up to Deer Lake to spar Muhammad Ali, and after a while, he ended up as a paid sparring partner to Muhammad Ali. It was at Deer Lake that one day Don King turned up. King the bullshitter was trying to woo Ali. King had just come out of jail. Larry had two pro fights with Butler, then Don King signed him at the behest of Richie Giachetti. Giachetti had watched Holmes spar Ernie Shavers and was seriously impressed with this little skinny black kid. Giachetti pressurised King and eventually wore King down, and King got Holmes a big fight at Madison Square Garden. On the night of the Garden match, Richie Giachetti surprised Ali with a brand new white satin robe, and on the back it says the Eastern Assassin. Giachetti's idea and the very first time this nickname was used. Holmes was 21-0 with 16 knockouts when he had his first real big test against Roy the Tiger Williams. Holmes had sparred Williams at Deer Lake, and Larry says, "Talk a bitter." Woo boy, Roy was nasty bitter. In camp at Deer Lake, Roy hung by himself and had a permanent scowl on his face. One time when Larry went along to support Williams and was rooting for Williams, old Roy turned to Larry in the midst of the fight and from the ring shouted, "Shut the fuck up." No one wanted to take a chance and fight Williams, but Larry took the fight with 8 days' notice. Larry didn't want to fight Williams, but was forced into it by Don King. It was on the Ali Jimmy Young undercard, and Williams had a win over the slick Jimmy Young. Worse still, early in the fight, Holmes hit Williams on the elbow and broke his thumb. But Larry jabbed his way to victory for the most important win of his career. Larry didn't fight for 7 months because of the 2 cracks on his right thumb. Larry finally got his first big chance in 1978 against big punching Ernie Shavers. Shavers had been another sparring partner of Ali's at Deer Lake, and Holmes had previously sparred Shavers. But as Larry says in his wonderful book, Against the Odds, if it had to be Ernie Shavers, so be it. Larry says that outside the ring, Ernie was one of the most likeable guys you could find in boxing. Ernie was a Christian, but as Larry says, when push comes to shove, make no mistake about it, Shavers was all man. Larry was brilliant against Shavers and boxed the fight of his career so far. Larry outclassed Ernie and had him hurt in the last 10 seconds of the fight. This win propelled Larry, and he signed to fight the new champion Ken Norton. And what a fight that would be. Going into the final round, the judges had them dead level, and the 15th and final round was voted by the Ring magazine as one of 3 nominees for the greatest round ever. Larry won the 15th round and won the decision, a split decision. As Larry says, "My heart was bursting with pride at what I had done." Larry held the WBC World Heavyweight Championship for 7 years and made 20 successful title defences. Larry beat a determined Weaver, a former champion Leon Spinks, a comebacking Ali, a great white hope in Jerry Cooney, and young guns Witherspoon and Williams. He also got off the canvas to defeat Shavers for a second time, and Snipes. How he survived the 9th round against Witherspoon, I will never know. How he got up from that right hand against Shavers in the second fight, I will never know. Larry was looking to tie with Rocky Marciano's unbeaten 49-0 record when he defended against Michael Spinks, who was looking to become the first light heavyweight to step up and win the heavyweight title. The fight was billed history. While training for Spinks, Holmes would find out that when he threw a right hand, pain would shoot through his shoulder. By the time Holmes got to Vegas for the final week of the fight, the pain persisted. He went to a nerve specialist. His diagnosis: a slipped disc in the 5th vertebrae. He says, "If I was your doctor, I'd have you on the operating table within an hour. That's how serious I think it is," said the surgeon. "Come again," says Holmes. He said, "If I went ahead and fought Spinks, it would be like playing Russian roulette. I might be paralysed for life anytime I threw a punch with the right hand. According to the specialist, the disc might rupture my spinal cord." Said Larry, "1 minute we're talking about a pain in my arm, and the next thing I'm hearing are the words paralysed for life." The Holmes camp brought in other doctors, and they said I could fight, and the chance that I would get paralysed was practically nil. So the fight went ahead. And not only was Holmes flat and listless, but he was reluctant to pull the trigger on his right hand. Richie kept screaming, "The right hand!" As the fight wore on. He was pleading, "Please, Larry, throw the right hand." But he didn't let the right hand go. When I watched the fight the next day, I didn't know the result, so it was like watching it live. I was screaming at Larry to throw the right hand. I couldn't understand why he wasn't. I was screaming at the TV, "The right hand, Larry, throw the right hand," but he didn't. I couldn't understand why he didn't, but I know now. Spinks won a unanimous decision, which I thought he deserved. Larry claimed robbery, and no, as a big Larry Holmes fan, Spinks won that fight. They had a rematch, and Larry says in his book that the thumb went again in the 3rd round. It was broken. Larry was beside himself with anger and despair, but he wanted to win so badly that he decided to fight through the pain. Holmes badly hurt Spinks in the 14th, and Spinks barely survived, and the fight went the distance. This time, the decision was split, and Spinks got the verdict. My opinion, it was very close and could have went either way. Holmes was in semi-retirement for nearly 2 years, but was tempted back by $3.1 million to tackle mighty Mike Tyson. Larry was knocked out in the 4th round. Surely this was the end. But no, Larry was far from finished. In fact, he was only getting started. Larry had 25 more fights, winning 22. He beat Olympic gold medalist Ray Mercer, who was coming off a stunning knockout win over Tommy Morrison and was unbeaten. And Larry twice challenged for the world heavyweight title, losing close decisions to Evander Holyfield and Oliver McCall. Larry got $1 million to fight Butterbean in his last fight, winning by decision, and Larry retired with a record of 76 fights, 70 wins and 6 losses. Of them 6 losses, he was only ever beat inside the distance once by Mike Tyson. The other 5 losses were all close decisions. Larry would be in my top 5 greatest heavyweight champions, probably behind Ali, Joe Louis, Rocky Marciano and Jack Johnson. Larry is a devoted husband, father, and grandfather now. I strongly advise you to read this book, Against the Odds, by author Phil Berger. It is a wonderful biography of Larry Holmes. He is a great guy and he was a great boxer. He is a very successful businessman these days and he owns half of Eastern Pennsylvania. Folks, thanks very much for listening to me today and hopefully I'll be back soon with another podcast. Take care and God bless.